إن الحمد لله نحمده ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد هدي محمد صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أعاذني الله وإياكم من النار وأهل النار. يقول المولى عز وجل في القرآن العظيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول عز من قائل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ويقول صلى الله عليه وسلم: إنما مثل الجليس الصالح والجليس السوء كحامل المسك ونافخ الكير، فحامل المسك إما أن يحذيك وإما أن تبتاع منه وإما أن تجد منه ريحا طيبة، ونافخ الكير إما أن يحرق ثيابك وإما أن تجد منه ريحا خبيثة. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. All praise and thanks is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I bear witness that none is worthy of worship but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his last prophet and messenger. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam conveyed the message, struggled for the sake of his deen, fulfilled the trusts that he was put upon his shoulders until he met his Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May the peace and the blessing of Allah be upon him, his family, his companion, and those who follow his path until the day of judgment. Allah Azza wa Jal talking to us, commanding us the believers, saying in the closest meaning of the ayah: "O you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and die not but in a state of a total and peaceful submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Meaning that the life of all Muslims, all mankind, should be led according to the path of Allah Azza wa Jal, brought to us by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In another word, according to the Quran, Kitabullah Azza wa Jal, explained and lived by Rasul, the way lived by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in a hadith, which is the hadith that we're talking about and have been talking about for the last few khutbahs. Hadith says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, a good friend and a bad friend are like a perfume seller and a blacksmith. The perfume seller might give you some perfume as a gift, or you might buy some from him, or you might buy some from him, or at least you might smell its fragrance. As for the blacksmith, he might singe your clothes, burn them, and at the very least you will breathe in the fumes of the furnace, his place. So it's always bad when it comes to the bad friend, and it's always good when it comes to a good friend. Al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah, Imam al-Shafi'i, sahib al-madhab, he said in a very beautiful verses: أحب الصالحين ولست منهم لعلي أنال منهم شفاعة وأكره من تجارته المعاصي ولو كن سواء بالبضاعة. Beautiful statement from al-Shafi'i, and he said, أحب الصالحين, I love the righteous people. I love the righteous people even though I'm not among them. I love them because I am looking forward to get some dua, some intercession from them on my behalf. وَأَكْرَهُ مِنْ تِجَارَتُهُ الْمَعَاصِي, and I dislike those whom their tijara, their trade, their business is al-ma'asi, sinful, disobedient. I hate these kind of people. I dislike these people. وَلَوْ كُنَّ سَوَاءً بِالْبِضَاعِ, even though I'm not better than them. I'm not better than those who are disobeying and making sins, but I don't like them. Beautiful statement from Imam al-Shafi'i, telling us that even if it really comes to the heart and the love that you have, because the Shafi'i really understood the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-mar'u ma'a man ahab. The person is with whom he loves in the dunya and the akhirah. By the way, in the Jumu'ah, you're not supposed to, those who are talking in the Jumu'ah, you have all the time to gather and socialize with your friends. Jumu'ah time is not time to talk to each other. Jumu'ah time is not the time to just sit in a corner and have a good discussion about the rest of the day or the day before or the week. You're in the Jumu'ah. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Men massal hasa faqad lagha." Yani if you play with the rocks, if you play with the stones, if you play with your misbah, playing with misbah, doing dhikr while Jumu'ah, faqad lagha, وَمَنْ لَغَى فَلَا جُمُعَةَ لَهُ. He has done something in vain and no Jumu'ah for him. So you just might as well stay home. You come to the Jumu'ah, the purpose of the Jumu'ah is to listen. The purpose of the Jumu'ah, actually, according to some of the madahib, the 2 khutbah of the Jumu'ah is replacing the 2 rak'ah. It's like when you're in salat. You cannot do all of these things and let alone just sit in the corner and talk to each other. And you were together just a few minutes ago. But that's shaitan. Shaitan is coming and saying, okay, khalas, I don't understand what he's saying. He's talking the language of qala Allah, qala Rasul, Sahaba, the history. Forget it. How was the day? How is this? This is on the side. I just saw something. I wanted to make sure that we understand the purpose of the Jumu'ah. Purpose of the Jumu'ah is to come, to listen, and to take some benefit. Take your phone, put your phones away. Do not text during the Jumu'ah. Do not do the dhikr during the Jumu'ah, during the khutbah. Nothing, none of that. You come, you pray 2 rak'ahs, and you sit down and you listen to what may Allah Azza wa Jal put the hidayah because of a word you hear. Not necessarily the whole khutbah, but remember one thing, one statement, one sentence, one hadith, one advice from Luqman al-Hakim, whatever, and take it and try to implement it. My brothers and sisters in Islam, going back to my topic. The bad friend, we're almost talked about him a lot, and we've seen the harm of the bad friendship. Allah Azza wa Jal, when He sent Musa alayhi salam, just to tell you that in the journey that we are in the path that we are in, we need to look at the Quran, read the Quran. Read the Quran and read it in a way that you understand and you take something out of it. Implement it in your life. Quran is not to be put on the shelves. Quran is to be understood, recited, understood, and practiced. And Allah Azza wa Jal, when He told Musa alayhi salam, اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى. Go to Fir'aun. He has exceeded the limits in oppressions. طغى. قال ربي. Now Musa alayhi salam is talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and look what are the demands of Musa alayhi salam. The request of Musa alayhi salam. 3 things or 4 things, and I'll talk about them in this ayah. قال ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Allah Azza wa Jal, Musa, when Allah Azza wa Jal commanded Musa to go and do an act of da'wah, al-amr bil-ma'ruf, wal-nahy 'anil munkar, which is a good act. And he said, oh Allah, I have a request. What's the request? Rabbi shrah li sadri. Oh Allah, shrah li sadri, put guidance in my heart. So the dua, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a dua, وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي, and make my manner easy. وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي, meaning that the tongue. Musa alayhi salam used to have a problem when he's talking, he stutters. So he said, وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. So make me fluent in my speech, eloquent in my speech, so that they understand what I'm talking about. This is a dua, and this is when it comes to Musa. Look at the rest of it. Nabi, Mursal, a Rasul, a prophet, a messenger. But he had something else to ask for from Allah Azza wa Jal, to show you the importance of who is your friend. And he said, وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي هَارُونَ أَخِي أَشْدُدْ بِهِ أَزْرِي وَأَشْرِكْهُ فِي أَمْرِي كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا. He's a Nabi, he's a prophet, and he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal for an eloquent tongue. He's asking Allah Azza wa Jal for guidance, and Allah Azza wa Jal will grant them those because he's a prophet and a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But he asked for something else. He asked for a companion in the matter. He asked for a friend in this path of da'wah. You're a prophet, you're a messenger, you're guided by Allah Azza wa Jal, yet He wants a friend. He wants a companion. He wants a good companion, a good friend. Harun, Aaron, from my people, from my ahli, from my kinship, أشدد به أزري, in a time of support, on a weakness, he will support me. وأشركه في أمري, I will take him as a partner and associate in the matter of النبوة, the prophethood. This is what. But what's really interesting is the last part. كي نسبح كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا. Really, the good friend, the good companion in the path is this: you will take the benefit of the nubuwah, you will take the benefit of whatever Musa is going, but also is a reminder to Musa in the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal wa tasbih. Musa, Nabi, a messenger, a prophet. But the Quran is not just for Musa or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Quran is for us. Quran is for me and you. How many friends we have that we use or utilize in this area. كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا وَنَذْكُرَكَ كَثِيرًا. If you have a bad friend, there's no way that they will be your friend in dhikr and tasbih. You have to choose that friend. Like Musa has chosen his friend, Harun, his companion. And he asked him and he said, this is why and this is how I'm going to benefit from the companionship and the friendship of Harun alayhim as-salam. So the good friend, and I think I did the translation. The last part that I focus in on is that this we can together. Nusabbihaka, we glorify you and we remember you often, not just one time a day or two, often, kathira, a lot. And I need a helper in this area. Remember last time I left you with Uqbah ibn Mu'ayt. Uqbah ibn Mu'ayt, who Quran talked about him and he said, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَيَوْمَ يَعُضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. Sabil, we're talking about the واتبع سبيل من أناب إلي يا ويلتا ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. He said, oh Allah, يوم يعض, when he's biting on his fingers on the day of judgment, he said, I wish I've taken the path of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Uqbah, he's saying that. And all of those who are like Uqbah and follow the path of Uqbah. And he said, Ya laytani, I wish I have never taken so-and-so, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, in his case. But Umayyah ibn Khalaf is all over the place. It doesn't stop at the time of Umayyah. I wish I have not taken him as a friend, as a best friend. لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا. He indeed, Umayyah indeed misled me after I received the words from Allah, from Rasulullah. And again at the end, صاحب السوء الثالث هو الشيطان. The bad friend. You have a bad friend, a friend who is not good. You have to be sure that the third friend is a shaitan. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ كَانَ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا. Indeed, shaitan was and will be the most deceiving enemy to al-insan, to the human being. But we know that. We know it. As Muslim, as a human, we know it. But yet we fall into the trap of the shaitan. Why? Well, one of the reasons, one of the factors is Sahib al-Su, the bad friend. Al-Tha'labi, I talked about the other part what he said when he talks about this. Not this ayah, actually he talked about another ayah. Al-Akhillau yawma'idhin ba'duhum li ba'din adu. Al-Akhillau, the best friend. On the day of judgment, they are divided in two categories. One category, they are enemies to each other, and we talked about it before. In one, they are the best friends. And this best friend are Al-Tha'labi in the interpretation of this ayah, he said, كان خليلان مؤمنان وخليلان كافران فمات أحد المؤمنين فقال. There are two friends. He's given the similarity according to this is two friends, two bad friends and two good friends. The good friends of the mu'min, the believers, they died. And one of them died, actually. One of them died before the other. He died before the other. Your friend, your best friend, the friend that you make salat with, the friend that you make dua with, the friend who you sit with, the friend that reminds you of Allah Azza wa Jal, the friends that remind you of salat, the friends that bring you to the masjid, the friends that take you to dhikr and so on and so forth. Either one of you died. The first one that dies, he will say, Ya Rabb, inna fulan kana ya'muruni bi ta'atik. وطاعة رسولك وكان يأمرني بالخير وينهاني عن الشر. Allah, you remember, subhanallah, and that person will remember his friend in the dunya who's left behind in the dunya. Said, Ya Allah, oh Allah, he's making dua for him then. Said, oh Allah, my friend so and so used to commend me to do good, to obey you, to keep me away from the ashar, the evil way, to keep me in the obedience of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. أو يخبرني أني ملاقيك. And he used to make sure that I understand and I know that there is a day after this that I will meet you. Ya Rabb, فلا تضله بعدي. Oh Allah, do not misguide him after me. Oh Allah, keep him on that path. Dua. لا تضله بعدي واهده كما هديتني, and guide him the same way that you have guided me. وأكرمه كما أكرمتني, and take good care of him the same way that you have taken care of me. فإذا مات خليله المؤمن جمع الله بينهما فيقول الله تعالى ليثني كل واحد منكما على صاحبه. And then when the other one reach the akhirah, Allah Azza wa Jalla will bring them together. And I will talk about how they are brought together. In which way? In what way? In what status? And we'll talk about it down. And he said, فَلْيُثْنِي كُلُّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْكُمَا عَلَىٰ أَخِيهِ. So please talk good about each other. And then they will repeat the same statement that, oh Allah, he used to do this, he used to command me to do this. And that's how they benefit from this companionship in the dunya. Let me give you the example of those who benefited from the dunya. Great benefit. Uqba ibn Mu'ayyid, he was remembered in the Quran until the Day of Judgment. And every time we read about it, we know it's Uqba. We know it's Umayyah ibn Khalaf. We know these two. But also Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran the other category. And He mentioned them in the best way, in a beautiful way. You know who are these people that are mentioned in the Quran? And they have been mentioned in the Quran because of their friendship, because of their companionship, besides Musa and Harun. It's Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa sahibuhu Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was one of the best friends of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam before Islam. And that's why, before Islam, but he was the best friend of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And at the end, when Islam came, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the first one that he have given da'wah after his own family, the inner circle of his family, was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. كحامل المسك. Remember the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? It's like the one who sells misk. If you have a friend who is the seller of misk, the first one who benefit from this is you. The first one who benefited from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. وذكر في القرآن إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين. This is the first one. When Allah Azza wa Jal talked about it, He said, وإذ أخرجه, when the people, they drove him out, they chased him out of his land. ثاني اثنين, one of two companions. One is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The second is Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه شرف الصحبة في القرآن. And no one can deny it. No one can reject it. You can talk about any Sahabi when it comes to the Suhbah, except Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Because Quran said, إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Allah Azza wa Jal telling Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the Quran saying, إذ هما في الغار, where in the cave, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq became actually afraid in a cave, alone. And they are chased. There are people behind them. They want to take him back to Mecca. And he was a little afraid. He's Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he's a human. He's not a prophet. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam telling him, oh my companion, إذ يقول لصاحبه, when he's telling his companion, لا تحزن, don't be sad, don't be afraid, relax. Why? إن الله معنا. شايف يعني أبو بكر الصديق لصحبته من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, يعني because of his friendship, he ended up with him in the cave. He ended up having that dua, إن الله معنا, Allah Azza wa Jalla is with us. You are with Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, Allah Azza wa Jalla is with you. That's it. And that's Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. How did he reach this level? How did he get it? By being the best friend of Abu Jahl? No. By being the best friend of Umayyah? No. By being the best friend of An-Nadr ibn al-Harith? No. By the best friend of Uqba? No. By being the best friend of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Well, you are the friend of someone who is up there. He will bring you up with him. He's going to bring you up, or she. You are a companion of someone who has taqwa, who has salat, who has siyam. You will benefit from that. He will pick you up. You are with someone who is down, he will drag you down. الصاحب ساحب ومن جال تجانس. الصاحب ساحب, the friend will drag you down. Will drag you down or will pick you up. Drag you down in the bad friendship and pick you up in the case of a good friendship, the case of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not only that, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu wa ardah. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, because of his companionship to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he reached this level. But also because of his companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was going through a tough time financially and so on and so forth. مال أبو بكر ومال أبو بكر الصديق was at the service of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq himself, his family and his wealth was at the service of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وذكره الله عز وجل في القرآن مرة أخرى. وسيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى ولسوف يرضى. ولسوف يرضى. Allah Azza wa Jalla said about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam في الضحى والليل إذا يغشى. Most of the Mufassirin, they agree that سبب النزول هذه الآية في أبي بكر الصديق. Let me translate this ayah. وسيجنبها الأتقى. Indeed, the one who is not taqi, al-atqa, the most pious. Forget about taqwa. Forget about taqi. Al-atqa. Al-atqa is صيغة مبالغة. يعني the most pious. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, إذا وضع إيمان أبو بكر في كفة وإيمان الأمة في كفة رجحت كفة أبو بكر الصديق. I know I'm talking too much about Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, but it has to do with the friendship. He didn't get all of this because he was Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He got all of this because he was the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's what the friendship will do to you and to us, all of us. And he said, سيجنبها, he will be actually taken, زحزح. سيجنبها, he will be actually pushed away from Jahannam. سيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى, the one who gives his wealth and health to be purified through الصدقة. يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى. And he did this. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq did all of this not because Muhammad has a favor upon him or anybody else has a favor upon him, he was returning a favor. He did it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَسَوْفَ يَرْضَى at the end. Indeed, verily he will be pleased by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal will please Abu Bakr as-Siddiq according to this ayah. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq will be among those who are pleased with Allah, and Allah is pleased with him because of his companionship. Because he is the friend or the best friend of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My brothers and sisters in Islam, I didn't go into the fruits of the good friendship. Not yet. And I have about 10 of them. But this is just an introduction to a good friendship, especially my younger brothers who are here today. Choose your friend. Choose the friend the right way. Choose a good friend. And do not say, oh, I'm just a little kid, it's okay. Trust me. Choose the right friend from your childhood. Even when you grow up, and you have memories, you will have good memories, not bad memories. Even at the level of memories, you will not regret memories because you were friend with so and so when you were a child. Best friend, I'm not talking about friend at the school and classmates, and I'm talking about best friends. I'm talking about the friends that you like so much that you want to spend most of the time with them, whether they are from the school or wherever they are from, but that's your best friend. Because you connect, because there's that chemistry, they call it the chemistry or whatever it is. Make sure that that person is a good person. Make sure that that person has good morals, had a good character, and it has everything that's good. Because people will tell you, will judge you because of who is your friend. And that's the understanding, my brothers and sisters, about al-mar'u ala deen khalilih. Most likely you are on the deen, the path, the lifestyle of your friend, your best friend. Al-Khalil is the best friend, not just a friend. He is the best friend. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه ملء السماوات والأرض وما بينهما يا رب. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. My brothers and sisters in Islam, the first advice was for the children. The second advice is for the parents. Parents, my dear parents, mothers and fathers, you need to be aware of who are your friends, the friends of your children. First of all, you need to be the example. Parents, they need to have good friends. You cannot tell your son or your daughter not to have bad friends, and your friends are bad. It goes, it's not something that you lead by example. You want to lead your children, your daughters and your sons, lead them by example. Lead them by example, and especially in this area, have good friends around you. Have friends that they take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not away from Allah azza wa jalla. Have friends who take you to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to play cards somewhere else. Have friends, this is the example that you are leading your life by. So you become the example. You want your kids to be PhDs and doctors? Well, strive and struggle to be a good in your fields. You want them to be a good Muslim? Be a good Muslim. You want them to have good friends? Have good friends. And don't leave it to the Facebook and to the Twitter and to the computer and to this to have friends and say, wallah, it's okay. I've seen some kids who are 10 years old, they have Facebooks. What are the parents? Do you know what's Facebook? 10 years old has a Facebook account? Are you crazy? 10 years and 11 years, and they're talking to all kind of people from all over the world. It's billions of people. They have 800 million subscribers to the Facebook. And you're 10 years old is exposed to that. And because of the technology, you cannot do that. You have to be aware of your kids. Who are their friends at school? Especially when they're at the age 14 and less, I guess, or I don't know what's the age. Parents, they have to judge that issue. But you cannot just be ignorant and oblivious about who is the friend of your child. Boys and girls. What are they hanging around? Who? What are they doing? It's dangerous because, like I said, alsuhbah sahib, وَمَنْ جَالَسَ جَانَسَ. If they don't have good friends, they have bad friends. Don't tell me they don't have friends. If they don't have good friends, they have bad friends. And we are, parents, responsible for the tarbiyah, for the upbringing of our children. We cannot just say, wallahi, the society, it's the openness, it's this, whatever excuses that we have. We are responsible. When they get to an age where they're adult and they make the right decisions, right, wrong, and so on and so forth, that's a different story. But when they live under my roof and eat my food, not mine, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and drink the water, the sodas that I bring, they have to be accountable to me, especially when it comes to their relationships. as simple as it sounds. Because it's a responsibility, and it's a responsibility that has an effect in the future of the kids. Not just now. They're innocent now. They're kids. But remember, المرء على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالف. This is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Luqman al-Hakim, من جالس جانس الصاحب ساحب ومن جالس جانس. Translation, and I will conclude with this. Al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and remember it, even when you're dealing with your own kids and the small kids, remember that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalili. Most likely the person is following the path of his best friend. Choose your best friend. They cannot choose their best friend. Choose them for them if you have to. This is what And the other one, as-sahibu sahib, the best friend, they will drag you up. He'll drag you down, will pick you up. وَمَنْ جَالَسَ جَالَسَ. If you sit too long with an individual, you become like them whether you like it or not. You imitate them whether you like it or not, especially in the critical ages. اللهم أبرم لهذه الأمة أمر رشد يعز فيه أهل الطاعة ويذل فيه أهل المعصية. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم يا ودود يا ذا العرش المجيد يا فعال لما يريد، أسألك بعزك الذي لا يضام وبملكك الذي لا يرام وبنورك الذي ملأ نوره أركان عرشك ألا تجعل لنا في هذا البيت الكريم، في هذا الجمع الكريم، في هذه الساعة الكريمة، في هذا الجمع الكريم مريضا إلا شفيته، ولا ميتا إلا رحمته، ولا ضالا إلا هديته، ولا عائلا إلا أغنيته، ولا طالبا للعلم إلا وفقته ونفعته ونفعت به، ولا طالبا للرزق إلا وفقته للحلال برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين، ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته، ولا مستضعفا إلا نصرته، ولا مظلوما إلا نصرته، ولا ظالما إلا قسمته يا عزيز يا جبار، ولا ظالما إلا قسمته يا عزيز يا جبار، يا حي يا قيوم، يا من لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت، وعافنا فيمن عافيت، وتولنا فيمن توليت، إنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت، تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. اللهم احفظ أولادنا، اللهم احفظ أولاد المسلمين في هذه البلاد، اللهم احفظ أبناء المسلمين في هذه البلاد، اللهم احفظهم بحفظك، اللهم احفظهم بحفظك يا رحمن السماوات والأرض. اللهم احفظ أبناءنا، اللهم ردهم إليك ردا جميلا، اللهم ردهم إليك ردا جميلا، اللهم تقبل التائب منهم، اللهم اهدهم إلى الصراط المستقيم، يا حي يا قيوم، يا من لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأقم الصلاة.